Hey everyone, welcome. So, have you ever been learning Portuguese and you just feel like something's missing? Like you know the words, but when you say them, it doesn't sound quite right? Well, today we're going to crack that code because I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Sounding truly Brazilian has way less to do with memorizing thousands of words and way more to do with mastering just a few key sounds that, honestly, most people never even talk about. So, let's just jump right in. What do you think is the biggest tell, that number one giveaway, that someone isn't a native speaker? Is it the grammar? Maybe the slang? Nope, not even close. The biggest secret actually comes down to the tiny puffs of air you make when you speak, or more importantly, the ones you don't make. And that leads us right to our very first secret, the no air rule. Seriously, this is a game changer. There are these sounds that are completely normal in English, sounds you make 1,000 times a day without thinking, that are actually giant red flags in Brazilian Portuguese. It's one of those things you don't even realize you're doing until someone points it out. Okay, so the fancy term for this is unaspirated consonants, but don't let that name scare you off. It's actually super simple. It just means that when you say words with a P, T, or K in Portuguese, you hold back that little explosion of air that we're so used to in English. The sound is much sharper, much cleaner. Let's try a quick experiment right now. It's called the hand test. Go ahead, put your hand right in front of your mouth. Now say the English word port. Feel that? That big gust of air hitting your palm? Port. Now I want you to say the English word hippo. Notice on that second part, po, there's almost no air at all, right? That is the sound you want for Portuguese. So let's put this into practice. For a K sound, like in quero, think of the C and bianca, no air. For a P sound, like in Portuguese, just remember the P in hippo. And for the T sound, like in tu, you're going to do something a little different. Press the tip of your tongue right against the back of your top front teeth and just snap it down, cutting off any air. It feels weird at first, but it makes a massive difference. All right, so you've got the no air rule down. Now let's tackle the next big hurdle for pretty much every English speaker, the letter R. The R in Brazilian Portuguese is kind of like a chameleon. It completely changes its sound based on where you find it in a word. But don't worry, we can simplify this riddle. Let's focus on the two main sounds you need to know. First, when you see an R smack in the middle of a word, like in ghetto, it sounds exactly like the quick, soft double D in the English word kiddo. And second, when the R is at the very end of a word, like falar, you pretty much just drop it. It goes silent. And this right here is the key to that middle R sound. It's not some big, dramatic world R. It's just a super quick, really light tap. Try saying kiddo really fast. Kiddo, kiddo. Feel that little flick your tongue makes? That's it. That is the exact sound you need for caro. It's so much simpler than you think. Okay, we've controlled our air. We've solved the R riddle. Now it's time for our third and final secret. This is the one that gives Brazilian Portuguese that iconic musical sound. It's time to crack the nasal code. This is the sound that's so beautiful and, let's be honest, so intimidating for learners. But it doesn't have to be intimidating at all. Here is an amazing little hack for the most common nasal sound, ong. First, just say the English word now. Simple, right? Now, keep your mouth in that exact same position, but add an ng sound to the end, like from the word sing, naung, naung. Okay, now try to say that combined sound, but with your mouth just barely open. Now, it becomes no. You hear that? You're doing it. Let's practice with the most important word that has this sound, now, which just means no. Okay, remember the steps. Start with now, add the ang without moving your mouth, keep your lips slightly parted, now. Can you feel that little vibration in your nose? That's it. That is the sound of you cracking the nasal code. Okay, deep breath. You now officially have the 3 secret keys to the Brazilian communication code. We've got the no air rule, we've figured out the R sound, and we've cracked the nasal code. So let's stop just talking about these sounds and start using them to build some real powerful phrases. Let's start with our first piece, yo quiero. This means I want. Now remember secret number 1 for that Q sound, no air, just like Bianca. Then use secret number 2 for that R, that light kiddo tap, quiero, eu quiero. Perfect. Okay, now let's add another word, aprender, which means to learn. Now this word is a fantastic test. You've got that tapped R right in the middle, apren, And then at the end, remember what happens? That final R pretty much disappears. So it's not aprender R, it's more like aprende. Eu quero aprender. And now, let's put it all together. The full phrase, eu quero aprender português. This is where you bring everything home. You've got the no air P and the no air T in português, just crisp, clean sounds. Say it with me. You've just said a full sentence that sounds genuinely Brazilian. And now that you have the basic rules, look how fast you can start building real conversation. Muito prazer. Nice to meet you. Hear that sharp no air T in muito? Or how about tá tudo bem? Again, 2 of those no air T's. Or bom saber, good to know, with that silent R at the end. See? You're not just memorizing words anymore. You're learning the music. So, you ready for the final test? This one sentence uses everything we've covered today. The no air sounds, the tapped R, the silent R, it's all in there. Eu quero aprender português porque eu gosto muito da língua. I want you to read that out loud. You can say this. This is a real, authentic sentence, and you now have all the tools you need to say it right. And that brings us to the most important part of all of this, because learning these secrets is one thing, but using them is everything. We've cracked the code together, but now it's your turn to use it. No, seriously, think about it. You're not just a learner anymore. You are a speaker. You have the 3 foundational secrets to sounding like a native. So the only question left is, what's the first thing you're going to say? The code is all yours. Go start talking.